Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Ceesay.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ano lay waxal?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Essa Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bisul mu fine. Wave, your money is yours.
On Tuesday, the 29th of July 2025, it's coffee time with Peter Gomez, and it's now 7 minutes past 9 o'clock. We have with us, as always, Dr. Ismail Ceesay. He is the Gambia's Information, Media and Broadcasting Services Minister. Good to have you back here.
Good morning, Peter. It's good to be back.
Fantastic. Your wardrobe, I will raid it. You keep telling me that week in, week out. Welcome back. Government, we understand, planning a counter-protest. I mean, Gala last week protested against corruption. This is a government that says it abhors corruption. Why would you want to organize, as Pa Sambajao argues, a counter-demonstration that would only suggest that the demonstration is for corruption?
I think there's a misconception, Peter. Government is not planning to organize a counter-protest or a counter-demonstration, as they call it. We live in a democracy. The right that citizens have to come out and demonstrate and express their displeasure in the manner in which government do certain things, certain policies, or perhaps government's lack of fighting corruption, as they called it. It is the same right other citizens have to come out and show confidence in the government. This is democracy. And when I see people criticizing Ibrahim Asila and those who want to organize this, I say, well, why is the democracy we are talking about? That is an anti-democratic behavior. Citizens are the gala has the right, and other citizens to come out. Is their right? I said it last week that yes. It's part of political participation. Yeah, sure. It's their right to come out as long as they act within the parameters of the law. They can come out and then express their displeasure. That is how they want to do it. Now, if other citizens, this is not government. People need to understand, it's not government planning this. These are citizens, normal citizens, Gambian citizens, who also have the same right to come out and express their pleasure and their confidence in a government. What is wrong with that?
Well, if it's led by a minister, everything is wrong with that. You just quoted Ibrahim Asila.
No, what I'm saying, Ibrahim Asila is a minister, yes, but Ibrahim Asila is a politician. He's a citizen as well. So he's not doing this on behalf of government.
So which politician is behind Gala?
Well, we've seen politicians who came out to support Gala. We've seen politicians who came out to support Gala.
I'm asking you who?
Well, we've seen Essa Faal support Gala. In their first protest, he was out in the streets. We've seen Rahim Ali Klo in the streets with Gala. If politicians can come out and support Gala and express their displeasure, it's their right to do so.
But this was after Gala came out. But to have a minister come out and say, well, we will also organize...
No, but the minister wasn't speaking for government. That needs to be very clear. The minister was speaking as a citizen. He wasn't representing the government. Is not planning a protest or a demonstration. This is a citizen who is a politician.
Was it wise for him to speak?
Well, I'm not the one to comment on whether it is wise or not. What I can tell you is that two things. The government is not planning a protest or a demonstration. These are citizens who have a right to come out and express their pleasure and confidence in a government, and everybody has a right to do so. What is wrong with that? If others can come out and express their displeasure, they have a right to do so.
Okay,
others can come out and also say we are expressing our confidence in the government. That happens everywhere in the world.
Agreed. So
nothing is wrong with that.
The government is not planning it, but the government is supporting it.
Well, I cannot speak for that. The government is not. It's not the government's job to support or unsupport people who have a right to come out and protest. What the government can do is to make sure the level playing field is there. What the government can do is to make sure that the state resources are used to protect and also to provide the right of anybody who wants to come out and demonstrate peacefully. That is what the government can. It's not the government's job to support or not to support any. That is not the job of government. What I can also confirm to you, Peter, is not the government that is planning a I wouldn't even call it a counter-protest. It's citizens who want to come out and express their pleasure and confidence in a government that the government is performing.
If it's not the government, could it be the NPP? Ibrahim Silla is a prominent member of the NPP.
Well, I have not seen any formal communication from the NPP, but yes, it could be, and they have a right to do so if it is the NPP. They have a right to do such a political party. Today, the UDP has a right, and even they did it at some point. They came out to protest against corruption. I remember 2-3 years ago. They sought for permit, and it was given to them. The UDP did that. So if the NPP can come out and say that we are coming out to express our pleasure in the way the government is being run, our confidence in this government, they have a right to do so. Nobody can say anything against. Anybody who does is anti-democratic. This is democracy. People have a right to do whatever they want to do as long as it is within the framework of the law.
Fantastic. You mentioned him just a while ago, Essa by Faal. He was here yesterday for 2 hours. And he said a lot of things, especially with regard to land that government is supposed to give to him, and they apparently seem reluctant to do.
Well, I think when I saw him yesterday, I watched him very closely, and I pitied him.
Pitied?
Yes, I pitied him. I think.
Why? Because he's losing $125,000?
Not only that. I think it's deeper than that. I think the man is tormented by delusion, but also driven by unbridled ambition. And this is a very, very serious case. I watched him yesterday, and in grand lawyer style, using complex words to obfuscate rather than to enlighten the public about the said issue, the land issue. In fact, I revealed to the public that when I read his statement in the aftermath of the publication of the article by Malagan, in that statement, he omitted some facts. And those facts are immediately after the presidential elections in 2021. He sought audience with the president. The president granted the audience, and he went to see the president, to plead with the president, for the president to intervene so he could get the particular land. And the president told him that, no, I cannot intervene. There are institutions who are responsible for this. Go and see those institutions, and you follow the right process if you want to acquire the land. And this happened. That shows how tolerant President Barrow is. After all said and done, when the election was lost and won and the dust settled, he went to see the president. He sought audience. If the president was a vindictive president, he wouldn't want to see him. But the president accommodated him. He saw the president. He pleaded with the president for the president to intervene so he can get the land. The president said, well, I cannot. There are institutions that are functioning. Go and see those institutions. But I don't like to talk about Essa, to be honest. I don't want to go personal. I'm here today he made a lot of false claims yesterday. I'm here to set the record straight and give the public the facts, and the public be the judge. One of the claims he made was that he attempted to bring together a coalition in 2021. I'm in the opposition. I was in the opposition at that time, rather. And that we were approached by some people to see what we can do to sit with Essa Faal.
Why conceal those people? Who are they? Who are those people?
I can't remember, but there were a few people who thought that was wise, because we came into the political field before Essa Faal. And when he came, people thought that perhaps our ideologies were similar and that it would be wise if we could work together in a form of a coalition. I wasn't very keen, but then CA decided to send Rafi there. Rafi is listening. Rafi is an upright man. He wouldn't allow me to lie in a radio publicly. We sent Rafi to go and engage Essa Faal to see what could be done to work together in a form of a coalition. And you know what Essa's response was? Yeah. Even before they discussed about who's going to lead the coalition, he said, well, any attempt from a coalition, first thing is he will lead the coalition. And Rafi said, why? He said, one, because he's more educated than us. He's richer than us. But also he knows more presidents than us. So because of these three reasons, he should lead the coalition. And Rafi was flabbergasted. And then that was the end of that meeting. So this shows the kind of person he is. And because of that, we could not form. So Essa talking about coalition, it's not possible. Essa will not form a coalition with anybody. And I listened to him yesterday, the characteristics he gave for somebody who will lead a coalition. He, in his mind, thinks that he possesses those characteristics. Therefore, he will lead any coalition. So that will not happen. But before I go on to really debunk some of his false claims, I would like you to give me the opportunity, or if you rather permit me to really talk about some important government updates that we think the public should know. Now, the first update has to do with a clarification from last week. There was a very crucial question that the public asked: why issue non-Gambian? Yeah, they are called non-Gambian ID cards to Nigerians and Guineans. In fact, previously, Senegalese and Ivorians and I think Sierra Leoneans were having these non-Gambian ID cards. So these two have just been added to the list. This
they look like the Gambian ID card, but they are
non-Gambian.
Does it say?
Because the insinuation was is to give the these non-Gambian so they could be able to use it to vote. But no, it's not like Gambian ID cards. Like I said, it's non-Gambian ID cards. And then it's going to be their non-Gambian ID cards. You cannot use this to register to vote. Other countries have been using it before. For example, I think they said Ivory Coast was using it, and some, I think Nigeria, Guinea, and it says the ID cards, Nigeria and Guinea were using it before. No, now it's Nigeria, but before Senegal was having it, and Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast. Okay. Now we've added Guinea and Nigeria to the thing. Now the other update has to do with Gambia securing 19.9 million to boost rural youth and women's resilience.
As what? Grants?
As a grant.
Okay.
That on the 24th of July, the African Development Bank approved $19.9 million grant to fund the resilience building, vulnerable youth and women support project in the Gambia.
What does that mean? What does that project seek to achieve?
What it does is that it is aimed to combating poverty, unemployment, and migration. The initiative will create 1,500 jobs, support 500 women led enterprises, and improve access to services in fragile regions. It targets healthcare, education, food security, and financial inclusion, focusing on rural areas and high poverty and malnutrition.
So what kind of activity will be, brought to?
Well, I think
to create those job opportunities.
Well, I think there'll be entrepreneurship. There'll be grant support for young businesses like medium and small enterprises, women enterprises. For example, if you have a small business you want to grow, you'll get the support. You'll get training as well. So it's activities initiatives that will make sure that young people who want to get into business like small ruminants, like agriculture, like poultry, you'll get the support, because capital is important. The problem that many young businesses face in the Gambia is access to capital, and this will come to support that, so they get access to capital, access to expertise, access to training. So this will go a long way in helping young Gambians. Particularly, it's going to focus on rural areas as well, and this is good to make sure that as part of our drive for decentralization, this will help go a long way. Mm-hmm. Now, the other update is from the presidency. The president, His Excellency Adama Barrow, traveled to Daura, Katsina in Nigeria, on Friday, together with First Lady Fatoumatta Barrow and high power delegation, to pay condolences to the family of the late Muhammadu Buhari and to the people of the Federal Republic.
We say Muhammadu, it's Muhammadu.
Muhammadu Buhari. And then prayers were offered at his graveside. I think this goes a long way to appreciate the efforts that were provided by the late Muhammadu Buhari during our transition, but also to further strengthen the ties, fraternal ties between the Gambia and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yeah. Now,
in one clip I saw Hamad Bah standing next to the president.
Yes, exactly. He was there.
Yeah,
this weekend also, the president, together with the presidents of Sierra Leone, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and Ghana, were invited to Monrovia to attend the occasion of Liberia's 178th independence. The president could not attend this very, very important event. I was representing him there as Minister of Information in Monrovia. And then Gambia was honored and recognized for our contribution in sending troops to the ECOMOG force in the 90s, but also for our proactive measures we took in terms of promoting diplomacy to bringing peace in Liberia. So we got an award there. I conveyed the president's appreciation and emphasized our regional solidarity between the two countries.
What did you get as award? A trophy?
A trophy is kind of a trophy that was given to the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Nigeria, and Ghana.
So where's the trophy?
Well, it's in the office. I need to go and...
In your office?
Hand it over to the president officially.
Do you need a ceremony for that?
No, I'll just have to give it to the president because it's for the Gambian people, but also I'll use the occasion to commend our brave men and women who were sent on this peacekeeping mission. The sacrifices they made in making sure that peace comes to Liberia. This prize is for not only for the Gambian people, but it's also for them, those men and women who were sent, who were deployed in the 90s to go and fight in Liberia.
What did you say in your acceptance speech? I suppose you didn't just walk, receive the thing, and walk off.
So what happened was that because of time factor, President Julius Maada Bio was chosen to speak for the
Sierra Leonean
president because he's the current chair of ECOWAS. But also remember, they played a critical role. Lunge Airport at that time was used as a base for the ECOMOG forces. So he spoke on behalf of myself, President Jomai Faye, President Mahama, and also President Embalo of Guinea-Bissau.
Did you not have a meeting with Jomai on the sidelines of...
no, we just greeted each other, but we didn't have a bilateral. No, we did not.
Missed opportunity.
Well, this is diplomacy.
All right.
Now, another important update is from the Ministry of Health. There has been a confirmed case of Mpox, formerly known as monkeypox in the Gambia. A lady who had contracted the disease, but he's been stabilized under treatment. According to WHO standards, one case of Mpox is considered as an outbreak, but the public should not panic. It's under control. We just advise the public to stay calm, but also pay attention to certain symptoms like rashes, high fever, backache. If you see symptoms that you think are akin to these symptoms, don't go anywhere because the disease is contagious. It can move from humans to animals to human, but also human to human. So don't go anywhere. Just call 1025 and you'll get a response. We've activated an emergency response mechanism to make sure we deal with this situation. And the African Center for Disease Prevention and Control has really commended the Gambia recently for the approach we've taken in make sure that we contain the Mpox outbreak in the Gambia.
Okay. So Mpox, unique. Just one case is an outbreak.
Yes, it is an outbreak. That is the standard. Now, finally, this is also good news for the Gambian people. We wish to inform the public.
New ranking?
No, it's not that. It's about the overseas biometric passport enrollment. It started yesterday in Spain. So we started issuing biometric passports in Spain. From Spain, they'll go to Germany, Italy, and other countries. But yesterday, 96 people in Spain paid. It was a huge turnout. 14.
It just shows the desperation. I mean, to get Gambian documents.
Yes. So so that has started in Spain for people to know that we've started issuing in Spain as well. And then after that, they'll go to also Italy and also other countries.
So it's Spain right now, then
Italy. Then based on demand, they'll send mobile teams to Germany. So but yesterday Spain was very busy, 96 paid. And then I think before the end of the day, 40 something were enrolled, 51 were remaining. So it will go on to make sure that Gambians get passports, because this has been an issue that has been disturbing a lot of Gambians who needed their passports either to be renewed or needed new passports for work issues or for travel related issues. So this is good news from the government.
And what's the situation with national documents locally?
Locally, well, I think it's been stabilized. It's working. Yes, there are some delays here and there, but if remember, we've got an exponential demand from the public for national documents, and because of that, sometimes it can lead to a few delays here and there. It can take a couple of days, couple of weeks for you to get your ID cards. But they are being issued. That is what is important. They are being issued.
And driving license.
They're all being issued.
Everything.
I've not had any complaints as to, the only complaints I've had is that it can take some time before you get it. But like I said, if, for example, infrastructure, I mean, one of the things, Peter, that the country is facing is planning. We have had a huge population growth recently. This is compounded by the fact that we've seen also an increment in rural-urban migration to the extent that almost 60% of the population now live in urban Gambia. But urban Gambia, the infrastructure in terms of the services, is it be it water, electricity, other services, were not created, were not built to accommodate 60% of the population. We need to contend with that. So that is why government is building this resilience system, investing in this infrastructure, investing in services, because we've come to realize that this is the situation. So yes, we understand there are challenges, but we are working hard day and night. The ministers are working, the experts are working to ensure that services are provided to the Gambian people, because this is one of our primary mandates, to ensure that Gambians get the services they need, be it water, electricity, ID cards, passports. We are making, so even though there are challenges, yes, population growth, has exceeded. We did not see this coming. There has been an explosion, but also there has been an explosion of rural-urban migration as well. But also many Gambians now want ID card, they want to travel, and so we are doing well. We are doing well. We are not saying it's perfect, but we are doing well in ensuring that Gambians get the services they deserve.
Yeah. Population explosion. A lot of people would say Gambia could have been 5 million now. I mean, that's to be expected. I mean,
though that was not the projection. The projection is that by 2030 will be almost, by 2050 will be 5 million. That is the projection based on what we are seeing now in terms of the births per day.
Yeah.
So by 2050,
2.5 to 2.7 by 2025, you would say, that's just about.
Yeah, but I think 10 years ago it was 1.3. So the population is doubling every 10 years. Yeah. So that is why planning is important, because what countries do is that you look at population growth and you look at trends in terms of, let's say, for example, jobs.
Are we looking at that now?
Yes, where the government is. That is why this government is serious. That is why this government is unique, because we understand those challenges. That is why whatever we do, we also ensure that we factor in the welfare of future generations in our policies. And this is important, because why it's this important is that we look at global trends and local trends. The jobs that are relevant today will be irrelevant in 5-10 years. Now, how do you prepare our young people for the job market in 10 years? What will be the jobs in 10 years? What will the population in 10 years? What would the population need? How many classrooms would the population need in 10 years? How many nursery schools would we need? How many university places would we need? How many vocational training would we need in 10-15 years? That is why the Ministry of Higher Education is aware of this. And in fact, recently he came up with a very interesting paper to cabinet that cabinet will soon sit on, which is called the R&D, looking at research and development, because it's important for us. Any country should have an R&D
That's the
policy.
Minister of Higher Education.
Yes, Professor Gomez, to say research and develop. We do research, and that's how you develop. And I think we have these things. We know there are challenges clearly. The youth population is growing. It's not reducing. It will increase. Young people will need jobs. What kind of jobs? How will they get those jobs? And the government is aware of these things, and we are taking measures to make sure that we mitigate some of the fallouts in some of these things.
Fantastic.